Update. Am I the a-hole for gifting my granddaughter a custom-made cookbook instead of something a little pricey? Original post. Hello everyone. My friend's son told me about this app and told me I should post it in here to get some unbiased opinion. I'm 59 female, have 3 kids, 39 male, 35 female, 32 female. My husband died 10 years ago, and from then on I have been on my own. I live in a small townhouse. I am not poor, but I am comfortable with my living situation. So, recently, my son Keith, 39 male, told me he wanted to throw a party for my granddaughter Rita's 18th birthday because she is going to be an adult. He wants the date to be memorable to her. I know my son. He loves his kids very much. I love my grandkids as well, but I know he's going to buy her some expensive gifts. I, on the other hand, cannot afford to buy something expensive, but I wanted my gift to be thoughtful and show efforts that I love Rita as well. So, I had an idea. I have been a home cook for more than 30 years. I used to work in a restaurant before, and then moved on to having my own catering business in my early years. I loved creating new recipes and altering the old ones to my own. So, I had an idea to make a compilation of some of my signature recipes and make them into a book. I wrote down 20 recipes in my computer, and with the help of some grateful people, I was able to print them out. I then had another idea to make the recipes into a cookbook. So, I went on a publication house and told them to make a cookbook that looks like an ancient book, except it will contain recipes. I did that because 1. Rita has a passion for cooking. She wants to go to culinary school and hope to open her own restaurant chain. 2. Rita also likes things that are like medieval. She is into one of those Lord of the Rings kind of things. So, I thought it was a thoughtful gift for my lovely granddaughter. When the day arrived, I packed it up along with her favorite cookies. When it was time to open the presents, she got a lot of stuff. And when it's time for mine, I was happy. She opened it and gasped. I explained it to her that the book contains all the signature recipes I have made over the years, and I want her to have it. She said thank you and that she appreciates my gift, and someday she will try to recreate it. Everyone seems to be happy, except for her mother. She pulled me to the side and told me I should have made more effort into her gift and not give her some cheap book. I was appalled. I told her Rita likes it, and that's all that should matter. And she told me Rita only pretended to like it because she doesn't want to be disrespectful, and Rita is still a child who doesn't know anything. It also added that it was a little narcissistic of me to make Rita's gift about myself and my cooking, rather than it being about her. Now I am sad. If Rita didn't like it, I would be happy to replace it. But it is now making me wonder if my gift was actually cheap or not. Should I have just bought something a little bit pricey rather than giving her a cookbook? Now for the top comments before reading the update. In 10 years, she won't remember most of the pricey gifts. She will have yours and a piece of your heart forever. And they'll be broken or out of fashion. This book shows how much she knows about her granddaughter and their close relationship. I have a feeling Mommy's jealous about the love, thought, and care you put into this particular gift. Anyone can buy expensive gifts, but not many can give a priceless gift like Grandma gave her. Yes, this is one of those easy answers. The custom cookbook is going to be a treasure, not the a-hole. No, that was a wonderful and thoughtful gift. Rita's mother has no class. Thank you. You put effort in it. Try to get her something unique and something for her. Sounds like you nailed that. Her love for cooking and ancient-looking things, etc. If for her mother it's cheap, then she seems cold-hearted. Gifts that come from love and thoughts about a person is for are one of the most precious. Not the a-hole. Rita's mom is the a-hole. I wish I had my grandma's recipes. She passed 10 years ago, and I miss her so much. My grandma handwrote our multiple family recipes that I've framed and hung up in my dining area. She died 7 years ago, and those are some of my most treasured gifts. They were just hastily written out and given to me for zero special reason. This gift will outshine anything else she got, and I feel her mother was jealous. Honestly, I'm thinking about doing this with a few of my recipes for my kids. Thanks for the great idea, and forget about anything that jealous shrew has to say. Not the a-hole. OP, you are not the a-hole. Rita's mother is. Some people are materialistic, and she sounds like one of them. I'm sure Rita's gasp was with pleasure. Why not ask Rita directly? Her opinion is the only one that matters. For what it's worth, I would love a gift this thoughtful. If you ever decide to sell the book/recipes, please let me know. Not the haul. Now for the update. Hello. I want to thank everyone for your kind and warm comments. They are so nice and full of love. I know people have asked about what happened next, so I wanted to give you some update too. I saw some of you advised me to ask Rita privately if she liked the book I gave her or not. And I did. I called her up a few days ago and just wanted to chat with her. After some small talk, I asked her if she liked the present I got for her. She told me she loved it. She has been reading all the recipes and will try to recreate them. She then out of the blue asked me if she and her brother could come to my place and stay. I told her they can, whenever they want. But I find it a little odd. They did stay over at our place when their mom and dad were going on a vacation, though I know for sure they are not. So the next day, my son Keith drops both my grandchildren, Rita and Tom, at my place. I know something was wrong as soon as I saw my son's face. I invited them in. I asked Rita and her brother to go to the kitchen and have some snacks, and I asked my son if everything was alright. My son looked a bit sad and angry. It was a mixture of both of those emotions. Then he revealed to me he had an argument with his wife and that he is seeking a divorce. Obviously, I was shocked. They never seemed like a couple who would have problems. Whenever I saw them, they were like happy couples who couldn't stay away from each other for a long time. I asked him in details what exactly happened. Why is he seeking for a divorce all of a sudden? He didn't go much into details. He just said he and his wife got into an argument because of my gift. His wife apparently told him to make me buy a second gift that looked a little bit expensive, like something designer. He said to her that it was not necessary, that Rita likes it, and that's all that matters. They then got into a significant altercation over this. My son confessed that he has been unhappy in his marriage for a long time. They would fight because of my daughter-in-law's habit of spending. My son does earn a lot, but to see his wife spending his hard-earned money on useless things really makes him mad. He tried to have a conversation with her because of it, but it failed. He also said there were other problems too, but he doesn't want to talk about it until he sorts this out. I regret that their argument was sparked by my gift. I hope they are able to sort it out. Regardless of what my son decides, I will be there to support him. I do feel bad for Rita and Tom. Rita is an adult and she can understand, but Tom is still 14. He has to grow up in an unpleasant situation. Before leaving, my son requested me if I could keep both of his kids with me for a while because the tension in his house right now is not healthy for them. I happily agreed. I don't mind having my grandkids with me. On the other hand, Rita has promised to help me find and compile my old recipes. Some of them are really old, and the journal I wrote it on has been in bad condition. I think writing them in a Word document is a better option. Also, a lot of you guys asked me to release my cookbook. I don't know if I will do that. That sounds like a good plan, but I will put a pin on it for now. I have a lot on my plate right now. The gift was truly a blessing in disguise for the son. That daughter-in-law sounds too materialistic. I agree. There's a difference between enjoying being pampered by your loved ones and expecting super expensive gifts from everyone. She didn't even want the gift to be expensive. She wanted it to look expensive or to be something she could use herself. Opie exposed the narcissist fully by gifting the granddaughter something intensely personal between the two of them. I grew up with my grandma making the best meals, sometimes from only a few ingredients. She passed 20 years ago, and I would give anything to have something like this from her. Right? So many years of curated recipes. That's priceless. My mom died when I was 16, and I can't tell you how many times I have wished I had some of her recipes. This was an amazing gift. I'm sorry for your loss. I will gladly share some of my family's recipes. They're delicious. The secret ingredient is always love. The Heritage Cookbook sounds just so lovely. My grandma passed away having written down most of her recipes, but only in single copies. A few years ago, I made it a point to sit down and find out what people actually wanted recipes for and sought them out. Once I had them, I went on to a custom photo printing website and created a family cookbook, including recipes from my mom as well, and dozens of family photos. The only people who were in on it were my mom and dad, since they helped us get everything together. I ended up ordering something like a half dozen of the books and gave them out for Christmas presents to family. It wasn't extremely expensive, I want to say they ran around $20 each with shipping, but they were beloved by all that received them. Last story. Am I the a-hole for screaming at my stepmom that I don't want her stupid family heirloom and to give it to her own daughter? My dad married Lucy when I was 8. My dad and Lucy met at a support group for grieving widows and widowers, and they were dating almost immediately after meeting, which was 6 months after my mom died and 11 months after Lucy's first husband died. Lucy has a daughter, Macy, who was 7 when her mom married my dad. Macy and I never got along. We are toxic together. Pretty sure the reason is we were 2 grieving kids who lost a parent, struggling with the loss of said parent, and then our surviving parent marries the others. And suddenly the step-parent is being over pushy and calling us their kid, and we're not getting what we need from our actual parent. Lucy was especially bad. She called me her daughter before they were officially married, and she told me years ago that she was saving her engagement ring from her first marriage for me, which was a family heirloom her parents gave her first husband. I told her that I didn't want it, and she ignored me. She even ignored her own parents, saying they wanted Macy to have it and not me. She was offended they would treat me as less of a grandkid. But it's true. They are not my grandparents, and I'm not their granddaughter. Now, I'm 17 and Macy 16. And I don't know exactly how it all happened, but Macy was told by Lucy that the engagement ring from the marriage to Macy's dad was being saved for me, as her oldest daughter, and Macy lost it. She yelled and screamed at her mom that she is her daughter, not me, that her dad proposed to her with a ring not mine, and if anyone should get it next, it should be her. I was yelled at next. At the time, I was oblivious to the fact she had yelled at her mom. But Macy called me a thief, said she hated me, said I should have died with my mom instead of stealing hers and stealing a memory for her parents' marriage, and that I was a selfish witch. I couldn't believe Lucy told her own daughter she was giving me her ring, after I said I wouldn't want it. So then I yelled at Lucy. I told her I didn't want her stupid engagement ring, that it was meaningless to me, that she would never be my mom. And if she thought the ring would do anything but go to waste if saved for me, then she was mistaken. I told her to give it to her own daughter and stop being such an uncaring mom to her. My dad told me about the stuff Macy said to Lucy after I had stormed off. He told me I piled on Lucy, and it wasn't right. He asked me why I had to be so angry about the ring, and I told him nobody but Lucy wants me to have it, and I'm seen as selfish when I don't want the damn thing, and told her as much. He said I owed Lucy an apology and to give her as my mom a chance, because he's tired of us being a fractured family. He also told me I was a real a-hole to Lucy. I told him that's what you get when 2 fractured grieving families get forced on each other. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Ironic that this ring is the one thing you and Macy can finally agree on. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, not the a-hole. Yep, but I can blame her for being angry at me too. Her mom is focused so much on me that she wasn't there for her when she needed her to be. I just hate that I am now the bad guy when I never ever wanted or accepted a ring. I do mildly feel sorry for Lucy and your dad. It must be really hard when your kids don't get along. But as you yourself rightly say, you can't force people to bond, especially when you're both grieving, etc. And yeah, I feel for Macy too after reading what you just added. I get what the 2 parents were trying to do, and why, and how hard it can be. But man, they need to let it go and allow the 2 of you to coexist neutrally rather than try to force closeness. Yes, I know it bothers them that we also don't really care for the spouse either. Lucy's not someone I would go to with a problem nor particularly care for, and Macy feels the same way about my dad. They tried to make a family, but it was always a name only. Like I say, ironically, this could bring you and Macy closer at last. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Lucy seems to have no freaking idea how to parent even her own kid. The ring thing is so bizarre and horrible. They can be, but I don't think Macy will ever consider me a friend. After the ring thing, I don't know that she won't always hope that I die and leave her alone. Lucy and my dad are both like that now, but my dad wasn't always. Grief changes people and not always for the better. Not the a-hole, but your father and Lucy are. I'm really sorry for you and Macy. I cannot imagine what goes through Lucy's mind when she wants to give the ring for you instead of Macy, as it belongs to her father's legacy. You have the right to have the memory of your mom, and Macy has the right of the memory for father. Your step-parents shouldn't force themselves in a situation where they want to completely replace the original parent. I think you should seek therapy as a family. I honestly don't care about making us a family after all this time, and I'm almost free from this. Dad and I don't really have much of a relationship, and I'm pretty sure it will be the same for Lucy and Macy in another couple of years. Family therapy only works when you want to be a family, or are a family. Ours was always more in name only than practice, and for me it's not worth saving anything. Maybe if I'm just gone, Macy will actually get a ring. Or maybe Lucy will always hold on to it and think of it as belonging to me, but I won't play a part in that. Have you tried to speak to Macy that you don't want a ring? That you explained when it was mentioned that you said it should go to Macy and that you wanted nothing to do with it? Or would that be an effort in futility? I think trying to talk would make things worse. Too many years of bad blood between us for that, and too much of Lucy choosing me over her own daughter for Macy to want to hear me speak about it.